Girls have cell phones?
Malia does.
Malia
she got
does.
one last year. Yeah,
But Sasha, no cell phone for her?
Yay for Malia.
Well,
She'll be happy to know that
how do you explain to the young one,
of
no, your sister gets a cell phone, but you don't?
No, you don't get a cell phone.
First Lady gave Jay Leno her answer to a problem plenty of parents face. How young is too young for a cell phone?
The first family's oldest is 13. The youngest is 10, and that didn't sound like it was open for negotiation.
Absolutely not, no.
We have found kids as young as 3 years old to have their own phones. Fox4's Natalie Solis talked with some parents and kids about what's an appropriate age and when phones should be used.
The yogurt is delicious.
Best thing to do on a warm day.
But it's cell phones feeding today's youth.
I love it.
A permanent fixture.
They have been asking for a phone.
So how's a parent to decide when to cave and buy a cell phone or even a smartphone capable of accessing infinite amounts of information for their child?
Middle school. Middle school, yeah.
What's too young?
I'd say anything younger than 12 or 13.
According to the Center on Media and Child Health, 22% of children ages 6 to 9 own cell phones. 60% of tweens, 10 to 14, and 84% of teenagers, 15 to 18, own phones.
Anytime I have questions, I ask my daughters, can you show me how to do this on my phone?
But the kids can't imagine life without them.
I'd be shocked.
Even for a 6th grader, it's a social lifeline.
I can text and call, and I also have apps and music.
Some parents limiting phone use with parental controls or just waiting to take the cell phone plunge.
I have my iPod Touch. I usually use it for texting.
Nearly all the functions of an iPhone, but no talking function. Or does it?
And right away they said, let's not text, let's FaceTime.
These girls discovered FaceTime, an app that allows talking over the internet for parents struggling to draw boundaries.
I would like to know what the conversations are all about.
It's a technology tightrope.
The joke is that they already have a phone, and it's the home phone.
Natalie Solis, Fox4 News.
Okay, that's one answer. Joining us now, psychotherapist Nina Atwood, 6 years old with a cell phone.
Yeah, it depends on the kind of cell phone and what is the purpose that parents are giving them to their children for. So if it's about safety and about I want to be able to call you and know where you are, then all that takes is a track phone with prepaid minutes. But these smartphones with the apps and all the other functionality, texting and the games, that's more sophisticated, and you've got to really question whether really young kids need to be spending that much time in those kinds of devices.
How do parents know when their child is really ready for the responsibility of a phone?
I think it's a maturity thing. And I think that when a child is responsible and they're doing well in school and taking care of their other responsibilities, and they've kind of earned the right, an older child does, to maybe be given a nice phone like that. Because, a lot of adults can't afford some of these smartphones. So it should be a privilege, not an entitlement.
So if you feel the responsibility isn't there and you say no, do you need to get into a long, drawn-out explanation?
No, because they're not going to believe you anyway. You can give it to them, but they're just going to continue to argue with you. So you're still going to have to be able to say no, and that's an essential skill as a parent. You notice how well Michelle Obama said no to her child.
Parents can sometimes want to monitor what's going on with the phone or take a look at the text. Should parents do that to make sure, or just not tell their children that they're doing that, or say, hey, I want to see the phone, I want to check what's going on?
Well, I think that if they're really suspicious of their child's activity, that's a sign that the child is not mature enough to be given that kind of a device. If you want to protect them from being tempted by certain things, then you can put parental controls on their devices. But I think you shouldn't have to follow your child around and monitor every moment of what they're doing. If you're having to do that, you've got bigger issues with your kid. You've got real behavioral problems, and you need to address it in another way.
Nana, I want to get your reaction to this. One person on Facebook told us the younger the better. Brian Bartholow says he gave his 3-year-old an iPhone because, quote, it's a new world. This technology is prolific. I want her to have a strong basis in technology because she is going to spend her entire life dealing with it. What's your reaction?
Well, that is not the real reason, because you can learn technology at any stage of your life. Really small children are not able to handle those devices. For them, it's like a toy, and it's an addictive toy. They'll spend hour after hour on it, and they won't develop in other ways that they really need to. And in fact, there was a big study in the American American Pediatric Association not long ago came out with a strong recommendation not to let young children have these devices, especially children under the age of 5.
Nana Atwood, thank you for joining us tonight.
You're welcome.